What do you think about when drawing? It's difficult because when I was first starting out, I mean, you don't know what to think about, you don't know what to look at, you don't know what to do. You lack knowledge, you lack drawing experience, you lack so many important qualities to even be able to draw the thing in front of you. And it's like a very daunting task because there are so many parts to trying to draw it all. I'm not a master, far from it, but every day I strive to get better. Um, the important thing is to not stress about it because the more you stress about it, I feel like the less you're going to absorb and you're going to be worrying more about something out of your control. You need to kind of accept that there's going to be a lot of failure even when you have a lot of experience. Like, you may even have bad days when you're trying to draw. But the important thing to think about is at the task at hand. Now, I'm kind of violating some of my own rules here. When I'm making a video of any sort, I'm talking to you, and I'm also writing on the canvas at the same time. Normally, I eliminate all distractions. Some people think that they can get away with listening to like music or a podcast when drawing. I think only people who are like perhaps at the level that they feel like they can do multiple things at once, that they actually do it, but they probably have to know that it's not going to be their best work. I think eliminating all distractions, having a clean work environment, not being cluttered, so you can focus on the task at hand is the best way to do it. I feel like more often than not, if you're not like, if you don't go in with that mindset, you're not going to be able to draw anything. Some people always think of like, I think the term is blank page syndrome, and I think a lot of that has to do with cutting off a lot of external stimulus. And I would say, like, obviously I have a reference here. I feel like it's always good to use a reference, but I feel like this would still fall under the category of blank page. I mean, I know the correct term is when you wouldn't have this at all, and you would just be presented with your canvas, and you have no idea what to draw. Because more often than not, when you learn, you're learning to draw from observation. So when you take away that observation, you're relying on total memory recall, unless you have a photographic memory. Well, I guess that would fall under it. But basically, you wouldn't really know what to do, and you may become paralyzed. Well, I think always looking at like a reference image is a good idea, or having it, or maybe you want to do some type of piece, and maybe you can be inspired by parts of other works, but not fully. I think using a combination of your imagination and real life reference is definitely the way to go, and it's also a good way to jump into the mindset of drawing. Now, a lot of people think that when they draw, they're using a different part of their brain. I think that's definitely correct, but I feel like everything's very intermixed. Like, everyone wants to think that, left-handed or right or left-brained or right-brained, it's all mixed together from a realistic standpoint. But the important thing to know is that you just need to focus on the task at hand. Don't let any other external things affect you. That may not always be possible. I mean, like, I'm filming my videos at a time when there's no one else around me. Some people may have roommates. Some people may live with their parents. Like me, for example. But they're not here, so I can make drawing videos. But, I mean, they're alive. I mean, they're just away. But I'm not going on that topic. But basically, I have time when I'm not being distracted. I don't have anyone banging on the door. I have some time that I can, focus hard on whatever I need to do, get it done, and not be disturbed every 5 minutes. So that may not always be possible for everyone, and I'm sorry that's not the case. Perhaps You just have to bear with it. And I hate to tell you that because it's not really a good solution. I feel like some people have the advantage of a non-distracting environment. Some people may have issues like, I don't know, ADHD or ADD, stuff like that, or other issues that really hinder their progress. I guess all you can do is try to work with what you have and try to eliminate as many distractions as you can. Perhaps you have people talking in your house. If you have roommates and they're just noisy all the time, or they play music. Like when I was in college, there's no way in hell I'd be able to make videos at all because our old suite mate would blast music all the freaking time, and it was freaking awful. And he also had one of those alarm clocks that got progressively louder if you don't like turn it off. So yeah, it was he was an asshole. But that was college, and I'm no longer in college. I mean, he wasn't always an asshole. He was just it would basically require us to wake him up instead. I mean, I guess it worked, but hey, if you can't hear, maybe you need to sleep with hearing aids. I'm sorry, that probably sounds bad. I mean, he wasn't like deaf or anything. He was just an asshole. I'm sorry. Oh god. I hope he never. He'll never in a million years run across this video. So, I mean, as large as the internet is, or if he is, screw you. Sorry, I was about to say something a lot worse, but I don't want to get, I don't know, age restricted or something like that. But yeah, the important thing to know is thinking of the task at hand, and know that you can do it. Have confidence in yourself. It takes a long time to even draw something that resembles something that you're referencing, as difficult as it is. I mean, from a lot of the stuff that I've looked at, I always felt like you had to have a lot of experience before you even tried to do it. But hey, you're going to fail a lot, but the important thing is you try again and again, and know that you will get something that looks closer to the thing you're trying to draw. In this case, it's just an image of the vanilla plant. Its leaves, not the bean. It's called Vanilla Planifolia. I use that as a reference. This is my application, Thumbtastic. It's free. I'll put a link in the description. Always use a reference. Please, it really does help. Yeah, this app just can really help you observe reference easier if you're looking at it, which I highly recommend. Everyone will yell that to you. But yeah, just know the task at hand, the thing at hand. Don't stress it, but try to observe the thing and try to draw the thing you want to draw. And you're probably going to have to draw it like a ton, like more than you want to. And you'll probably be thinking to yourself that you'll probably get mad at yourself. Like, I used to get mad at myself a lot. I mean, I'm still not doing it perfect here, but I would get mad because I would be thinking, like, my brain would say, why can't you just draw this thing? It's simple. I'd say it's really hard. It's not as straightforward as everyone wants to say it. We don't live in a society that cares about art. It really only cares about masters and the end goal. Like, more often than not, the same people who will say you can never have any type of art career or it's garbage or all of that are the same people who will go into a museum and say, wow, look at this art. And it's just, it's a bit sad, I have to say, but, I guess it's always been known for being a difficult profession. I mean, I'm not a professional artist, nor am I claiming to be one, but I'm just saying, there could be a lot of external factors that affect people, and the main one being no one's encouraged to do this pretty much after you're done with grade school, maybe even earlier than that. You're not encouraged to. No one says there's any benefit to it. I mean, I'll say there's a benefit to it. I think getting ideas out of your head is a great thing to be able to have that ability to, invent and draw and make whatever you want to. But yeah, people may tell you, if you tell them they draw, more often than not, I feel like whenever I tell people about that, I mean, I'm not a pro either, but the fact that I can draw a little, people say, oh, I can't do that at all. And it's just like, we kind of live in a society that values us being cogs in a machine to do some type of science thing, to be an easily replaceable cog in a machine. Um, I hope I don't sound bitter, but more often than not, that's what they do, or that's the way the system is. Like, they just want you to lack creativity. They want you to do a thing for them to make them money, and that's all they care about. it's it's it lacks creativity. They don't want you to be creative. They want you to be operational. They want you to be a robot, and that's the way your school system's set up. I'm sorry, maybe not your school system, but from my personal experience, it just doesn't value it. And I would say you could even be like a creative technology person. I think that doing things like drawing, I mean, it can contribute to that. Nor am I trashing anyone who really likes being in the tech field or science field, etc. But I mean, heck, I would feel like even people in that field, like even if you were in chemistry, and you were like drawing certain molecular structures, I feel like being able to draw and having some drawing confidence would be really helpful. I mean, I'll never forget when I was in college and I took a chem class. It was like, okay, draw the orbitals. I'm like, I can't draw shit. You're expecting me to draw something I can't even think of my head? Like, basically, it's like, okay, here's the exam. Draw this from memory. I hope you memorized it, even though we really didn't tell you to do it. And there's like a million different configurations. And, yeah, I think, I think the system likes to do that. I don't know why. Bitterness, probably. I always wonder how long it'll last. Sorry, I don't like to get all wow, I totally forgot the word I was going to say. Wow, can't even think of the word. Well, that tells you how good I am at science. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the important thing is to not stress about it. Maybe if you're near people who don't value drawing, maybe don't tell them about it at all. Why tell them if they're going to discourage you? Because they'll probably just discourage you in other things as well. But I don't do this as a profession. I do really like to draw, but from my standpoint, I am like more of a programmer, so my day-to-day lacks creativity, and that's the way they like it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I get paid, so that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But it would never be like acceptable for me to do any type of like creative work, and that's just kind of the way it goes. But yeah, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't discourage you. I hope through everything I say, it encourages you to draw and know that you can pick up a pencil, and failure is important, because I'd say your success is a summation of failure. So you have to fail to get to a successful point. But the way most educational systems work is that they look at failure as something that needs to be corrected and you can't do it again. Like, they don't allow you to fail twice. And can you imagine if you went to any of these master artists, like, I don't know, I mean, any artist you may see in a museum, I mean, the masters, and if you would look at them, and if you would, like, when they were first starting out, even if they had talent, they probably, like, screwed up at some point, and if you said, you can't do that again, I mean, more often than not, they probably just quit at that point. I mean, you have to go through a certain amount of failure until you have success. There's no way they just came out with success all the time, as much as people in our society likes to say that. But okay, I think that's enough of me rambling. But thank you for listening. I hope that I gave you some useful information. If you have any questions, drop in the comments. And if you like my content, please subscribe to my videos. But thank you for listening. Bye.